The rain hadn't stopped. It never seemed to stop in this city. The stranger walked toward the looming tower Evelyn had hinted at, his boots splashing through puddles. The streets were emptier now, the kind of quiet that wasn't peaceful, more like the city was holding its breath. As he approached the tower, a low rumble echoed from above. He looked up. The building stretched high, its dark windows like unblinking eyes staring down at him. A faint light flickered on the 13th floor, the only sign of life. He stopped at the entrance. The door was slightly ajar, creaking as the wind nudged it. He didn't trust open doors. It usually meant someone wanted him to walk in. The stranger stepped inside. The air was damp and cold, and the smell of mildew mixed with something metallic. Blood, maybe. Or rust. A dim light buzzed above him, casting long, shaky shadows on the walls. The silence wasn't empty, it was waiting. He moved up the staircase. Each step groaned under his weight, like the building was warning him to turn back. But he kept going. The 13th floor wasn't far, and Corvin wasn't going to wait forever. When he reached the landing, the air felt heavier. A single door stood at the end of the hallway, its frame cracked, paint peeling like old skin. He paused, listening. Inside, he heard faint voices. No, not voices. One voice. Deep, deliberate, talking to someone, or something. Stranger's voice. This is it. The room was small and cluttered, papers strewn across a desk lit by a single, flickering bulb. In the corner, a man sat slouched in a chair, his face half hidden in the shadows. Corvin, I was wondering when you'd show up. Evelyn has a habit of sending fools my way. I'm not a fool, and I'm not leaving until I get what I came for. Corvin chuckled, a dry, bitter sound. He leaned forward, his eyes sharp and calculating. What makes you think you're ready for the truth? You don't even know the right questions to ask. Then enlighten me. The stranger says. Corvin leaned back, lighting a cigarette with a flick of his wrist. The smoke curled lazily around him. You're in over your head. This city chews up men like you and spits them out. But fine. I'll tell you this much. The people you're looking for don't play by the rules, and neither should you. Before the stranger could respond, a loud crash echoed from the hallway. Corvin stiffened, his hand moving to the gun on the desk. Loud crash, heavy footsteps approaching. Corvin, they found us, get ready. The stranger drew his weapon, the weight familiar in his hand. The door burst open, and shadows poured in, figures cloaked in darkness, their movements quick and deadly. The first attacker lunged, but the stranger was faster, his gun roaring in the small room. The fight was brutal, the room filled with smoke and chaos. Corvin fought like a man with nothing to lose, his movements sharp and efficient. Together, they pushed the attackers back, but not without cost. Blood splattered the walls, and the stranger's arm burned where a blade had grazed him. Corvin says, if you want to survive this, you'll need more than a quick draw. You'll need allies. Meet me tomorrow, Pier 17. Midnight. Don't be late. The stranger nodded, tucking his gun back into his coat. Without another word, he turned and walked out into the rain, the city swallowing him once again. The answers he sought were closer now, but so were the dangers. Rain falling harder, fading into silence.